recently I've gotten a message through the contact form on my website, and the guy sent me this message. I've pasted in this Emacs buffer right here, so I'll just read it out. Hello, I watched your YouTube videos. You made a video about setting up your own email server, but to have a VPS, I must have an email address. What is the best email provider in your opinion, or is there a VPS that doesn't require email? And in this video, I want to answer this question, because if we think about it in like conceptual terms, this is really kind of a bootstrapping problem. And I mean, it goes even further than just like the VPS provider, so the server you actually host the software you run your email server with on, but it also expands onto like the domain. And I think with domain, it's even more important, because if you tether, like if you host your own email, you are tethered to your domain, obviously, because other email servers will send your email to your domain. So the domain is really the kind of central point, like the point you can't really, like if you lose access to your domain, I mean, you're screwed, because that is what other people and companies will use to send email to. Obvious. So yeah, this really is kind of a bootstrapping problem. And I mean, there's really not that great a solution, to be honest. And I don't have a great solution either. So, I mean, back when I was getting into the whole like privacy, free software thing and whatnot, I fell for the Proton Mail meme. And I mean, it is a meme. So, and I mean, that's what I've been using as kind of my like normie email. And I mean, at this point, I have stripped like all of the actual like, kind of content emails, like for like actual services and like communication with others. I've kind of stripped that out from this Proton Mail address, and now I only really use it as like a bootstrapping thing, where I have tethered where my domain account for my domain registrar is tethered to, and also my like server hosting thing. So the company I use to host my VPS or my servers. So that's what I use. And I would honestly just recommend go with what you have. I mean, if you have some email address, obviously, so just use that to register an account with your VPS provider and with your domain registrar. Because in most cases, I mean, let's be honest, you're gonna enter your personal credentials anyways. And even if you don't, you're gonna pay probably with some quote-unquote normie payment service. Like you're going to use PayPal or bank transfer or Stripe or something along those lines, credit card. So your name's there anyways. And if you don't, I mean, if you use Monero or Bitcoin or stuff like that, I mean, you can do that with like some providers. And I've also done that in the past. And I guess for this scenario, an anonymous or a best email provider is kind of relevant. Because most email providers will not let you register an email account easily. Like, you will have to jump through a lot of hoops to get an email account, like permanent email account. So, for example, things like Hotmail or Microsoft, I guess, Outlook, you can pretty easily get an email account there, but after a few days, they will kind of nudge you to verify it, and at some point they will simply block you. So block your email. Or at least that's what I've experienced. So yeah, I mean, the question remains, and I guess maybe I should have said this in the beginning, but there's a pretty, simple solution, I guess, because there is one email provider that is actually that allows you to register anonymous email, and that is Cock.ly, or Cockly, I guess is how you should pronounce it, I guess. I don't know. So, I mean, that's the website, Cock.ly. And yeah, I mean, it's email with, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's kind of a meme, but obviously, I mean, they do provide, I mean, here is your go-to solution for professional email addresses. And yeah, make sure to ask them to check their spam. So obviously with an email service that allows anonymous registration, they will have some problems with like spam and like abuse and stuff like that. So, I mean, is this the best email solution if you just want to write someone an email? Maybe not. I mean, but that's like generally a problem with self-hosted email, I guess, with non-mainstream email. But again, you can register an anonymous email account without having to pay, without having to like verify it over like text or phone call or whatnot, without having to like pay for it and stuff like that. And yeah, it's pretty popular, and it has been alive since 2013. I mean, that's a long time. And they have had some problems. I think last year it was with like, I think it was even like 3-letter agency stuff. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, if you want anonymous email, this is what I would recommend you to use. But can you build on this? Like, should you expect this to like last forever? Maybe not. I mean, they are under pretty heavy attack again, as you could see like last year. So, but I think a pretty good rule, if I can speak, a pretty good rule of thumb is, and I think this is like from like Taleb. So Nassim Taleb, if you know him, he's written books like Anti-Fragile is one of his most popular books, and I think in there's like some kind of rule of thumb to expect things to last as long as they have survived. So if that makes sense. So I mean, 2013, that's 13 years ago. So I mean, we can probably expect Coq.ly to last another 13 if we go by that kind of rule of thumb. So yeah, again, I mean, you can read all about it on their website. You can again check out where is it? Register here. You can go to this page and simply register an account. So yeah, I mean, trillions of people can't be. Yeah, okay. Again, it's kind of a meme, but it works, and it's one of maybe the only place where you can register like actual anonymous email. So I think that's it. That's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. But yeah, to summarize, there's not really a solution. And like this kind of, to go like one level deeper, we can think about, well, I mean, having a VPS or like a domain, like these are not free things, if you know what I mean. Not free in monetary, but like free from societal restrictions. But these are actually very much tied into society, and to kind of participate in them, so to host your own stuff, like this is not some like free enterprise. Like you are very much tied into like the mainstream society, if that makes sense. And I mean, when I say you, I include myself in that, of course. Does that mean you shouldn't self-host? No, of course not. You should self-host your stuff, because you still get a lot more control over it through that way. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers the question. And yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say in this video. All right, have a nice day.